Well, those red light cameras are used in hundreds of cities across the country to catch drivers breaking the law. But some people are concerned these cameras can violate your rights to due process. And now a Missouri court is the latest to rule those cameras are unconstitutional. Judge Andrew Napolitano is a Fox News senior judicial analyst and joins us now. Judge, raise your right hand.
Raise my hand.
Have you ever gotten caught by one of these cameras?
No, I never have.
Okay, just need to check because if
you know, I honestly don't know what I would do. I would probably challenge it, but as we were talking in the break, the cost of the challenge, you have to hire a lawyer, then you have to hire a computer expert, then you have to get the equipment and examine the equipment. The cost of doing that is far more than the fine, the $125, $130 that you'd pay.
So let's talk a little bit about the due process part of this. And in Missouri, specifically, the due process was at issue?
Yes.
That's what the courts had a problem with.
The procedure that I just described to you about a lawyer and a computer expert is what would happen if I got caught with this in New Jersey, where you can challenge it. In St. Louis, you couldn't challenge it. You were just getting a bill from the city as if it was an additional tax bill, and people were uniformly paying them. And then people started saying, well, what are these bills for? It was because a camera, not a human being, a camera said that you went through a stoplight. Well, so people challenged it, and just late last week, a judge in St. Louis said, it's unconstitutional. It doesn't keep us safe. It's just a cheap way to raise more money, and you didn't give people a fair trial.
Well, some say it is a way to keep us safe. If you look at some statistics, and you have to consider the source for this, but the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says in cities that use these cameras, injuries are down, reduced by 29%, double digits, and that the roads are safer because of the cameras. So how does that interplay with then our rights so as citizens to get the due process you're mentioning?
Because our rights as citizens to due process are natural rights that come from our humanity, and they're protected by the Constitution of Missouri and all the other 49 states, as well as the federal Constitution. And the police can't take those rights away by saying, pay up. You have the right to challenge, to demonstrate that you didn't go through a red light, or that the camera was rigged, as was the case in San Diego, to take a picture of you before the light actually turned red, and then pretend that you were in the intersection when the light was red.
It wasn't automatic. If you didn't automatically get that bill in the mail, then would you have due process if they said, okay, we caught you on camera, we're inviting you to court to explain yourself before we levy this fine based on the evidence?
No. We charge you with going through a red light, and we're going to prosecute you and attempt to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And among the evidence we're going to use is this photograph, so you can come in and defend yourself against the photograph. You don't have to prove that you didn't drive the car through the red light. The government has to prove that you did, and the photograph is just one element of the proof, and they have to prove that the camera was accurate.
So you think these
then they also have to prove that they had the authority to put the camera up there in the first place.
Do you think these cameras nationwide are unconstitutional?
I think they're just a gimmick to raise money for local governments. And I'm not the only one who thinks that way. The city of San Diego lost $100 million to people that it had illegally fined, and to the companies from whom it had bought the cameras before it decided to get rid of them.
I only have a quick moment here, but how does this apply to other crimes that could potentially be caught on camera and observed by a camera like the traffic camera?
Or even listened to, because some of these cameras have microphones in them. We haven't gotten there yet, but that's coming. So if it takes a picture of you in the car and there's something on the front seat of the car that you didn't expect would be in the photograph, can they use that photograph to prosecute you? Probably not, but they'll try.
Judge, nice
Jenna,
to see you. Drive safely.
Always a pleasure.
Cameras or not.
I will drive safely, Jenna.
Thank you, Judge. John, will you